Happy Saturday. Welcome to the Paradigm Shift episode 121. 121 weeks in a row, my goodness. Special start time tonight, custom, just for y'all. We have a very special guest on today. We're going to bring on Joey in about 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I can't wait for you guys to meet Joey. For our audience who might not have been familiar. Let's have some fun. Let me know how you guys are feeling in the chats right now. Let's get this party started. And also, did you grab a copy of the Reinvention Formula yet? On Amazon, Bundles, or anywhere? Let me know. Galena in the house. What a special treat. Joey, I see you on here. We're going to bring you on right now, brother, and we'll get started without Dave for now. Let's do this. Let's have some fun. Let me know how you guys are feeling in the chat. Let's have some fun. Let's get nuts. We have a very special treat. I hope you all have a great weekend. Joey, what's up, brother?
What's up, dude? How we doing?
Doing great, man. How are you?
I'm in a car at my nephew's baseball tournament, so we're killing two birds right now.
I love it. Where is that? Where are you located?
I'm outside of Chicago right now.
Very cool. Very cool. We're waiting for Big Dave, but we're going to get started without him. You ready to get nuts?
Yeah, let's rock, man.
Okay, for our audience that might not be familiar with Joey, my suggestion, do a deep dive, play catch up. He's got a lot of awesome stuff going on. His content is a lot of fun too. I wanted to ask you, I know this is something that you're really big on, and it's kind of a general question, but maybe we can give some tunnel vision with it. Just in general, in any area of life, how can someone practice doing the minimum to get the maximum?
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about, everybody talks about my why. That's great. But man, how in the hell do you get to your why? So we need to know the steps along the way. So whether your why is to get jacked in the gym, to work on your brain, to, have better relationships in life, to be a better father, to be a better wife, anything like that, understand that why first. And then we need to put those steps in place and think about what you're not doing and then what you're currently doing. What you're currently doing, what's good that you can keep, and then what are you not doing that you can add on? Because people think about, let me take away this, like let me not eat these donuts, let me not do this, whatever, right? But what are those good habits that you can add? Naturally, those bad habits will start to go away.
I love it. And it's so good. And a lot of times people think they have to do so much more. But how can we work a little bit smarter, not necessarily harder, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Joey, I was checking out your content, which I highly suggest everybody do immediately following this episode. And I saw that you happen to get your pee tested a lot. And I wanted to ask you, how often do you, and how come you do so much?
Yeah, so I pee in a cup every few months. I mean, look, you can't track what you can't measure. That goes for anything. Like whether you're an accountant or you're a stockbroker, like you can't measure what you're not tracking. So every few months I'll get my pee checked. I'll do blood work. I check all these things. Sometimes it's a little too much information. But a couple weeks ago, I had environmental toxins checked to see what my toxin load is, to see how my immune system is responding, see cortisol levels. So I'll check those every few months to kind of see where I'm at and see if what I'm doing as far as lifestyle factors are helping. Sometimes it takes, correct supplementation or pharmacological help. But often, if I'm, stressed out, and I could tell that, C-reactive protein or these inflammatory markers are higher. I'm like, okay, this is actually shown in my blood work or my urine or, stool. That's the next thing I'm going to do. I'm going to check my poop. I haven't done that yet. We'll see what the microbiome is, right? Like 70% of immune systems in your microbiome. So, just swab your poop a little bit, however, whatever protocol you do. And then you can see, if there's any, like some people that have SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, or anything like that. So I like kind of getting into the weeds, and I'm fortunate enough that I have a lot of functional medicine doctors that, take care of a lot of this for me, or I barely pay any money for it. But if you're really curious about your health and you've done everything that you possibly can, you're doing the sleep and the nutrition and the supplementation, you're working out, and you're doing meditation practices and mindfulness, and you still don't feel well, check your blood work, get a CBC count, get your urine checked, maybe check your stool and see if there's anything wrong there, because often it's a missing link.
Yeah, I love that. And how do we know if we don't check under the hood, so to speak?
Joey,
I'm just curious, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you, brother?
Yeah, I'm 40.
40?
Yeah.
You're doing something really right. You look younger than me.
Well, I mean, look, genetics help, but I've been living a good lifestyle for a long time. I played hockey in college, so I definitely partied for sure. And then a year plus after college, moved to Chicago downtown. I kind of lived that party life and didn't sleep much. And I ended up meeting my wife, and it was a good catalyst. Like sometimes we need a reason to change and be better as people. So she was my reason. Like I was very single for several years. Let's just say that, right?
I
And
understand.
captain of my hockey team, I did okay for myself. Um, yeah, she's not watching this right now. She's watching the baseball game, so we're good. Would not surprise her, anyways. But yeah, that's the thing, man. Like, I needed that reason, to start treating myself better and stop drinking every single night and stop smoking so much weed and doing all these bad habits for me. So at 25 years old, and I got everything better. Dave, did you hear that, man?
It's so good. I came at the right time, man. I
Yeah,
came at the right
that's
time.
okay. Anytime you hop in with me, I mean, we talked about checking my poop and urine. I mean, we're just going
This is awesome.
That's so good, man.
Joey, just curious, do you still socially drink or not at all?
randomly. So, ironically, that you just said that, I just had one of those, like, I'm not sponsored by those people. If they want to send me money, it's totally fine. Like High Noon, it's like some sort of vodka soda type thing at this baseball game. Because I can't drink a beer. I just feel like just bloated and just like a fat ass. I can't do that. So every now and then, like often when I'm going for TV in New York or LA and I meet all my buddies out there, yeah, I'll have a few drinks. But right now, like I've got a 5.5-year-old son, so I don't need to like my free time, because I work 7 days a week. I know you guys get it. Like my free time is spent with my family. So what the hell do I need to get shit faced for? Like it's not for me. Now I'll go out with my boys. I went to Charlotte, North Carolina to run a DecaFit a couple weeks ago, and his mom texted. It was his 40th birthday. I made these pink shirts. I know we're going off topic, but it's fine. I made these pink shirts with him. Face. Don't ever text me your picture, by the way. So I made it said 40 and fabulous on it, and on the back it said wait until you see the front. And I got him a medium on purpose, and he's like an extra large. So then I made him put it on. We got him the same flight in Southwest. They sing happy birthday to him the whole time, and it was like suctioned on. Anyways, when we were out for his birthday, his mom texted, she's like, drinks on me tonight. Like, oh, you shouldn't say that. You shouldn't have said that. So we spent like $500 in like 2 hours on like 14 drinks. So randomly, I will do that. I will let loose, and I think that's something that it's okay. Like if you get home at night and you're stressed out and you have to have a glass of wine every single night, 7 nights a week, that's a problem. But if every now and then it's that amaretto, that wine, that whatever, and you just a couple sips and you got that, that's your body going from stress to parasympathetic. So man, you want to have the glass of wine, you want to have the beer every now and then at night, and that makes you de-stress. That's awesome. Because yes, alcohol is not good for you, but so is being chronically stressed and at high levels of cortisol your entire life.
Now that's a paradigm shift, right, Dave?
I love it. Yeah, I 2 or 3 times a year get wasted out of my mind, guys. So I don't need any relief daily. But I like to celebrate the celebratable at the right time. So I'm gonna pick my game, pick my moments. So I think too many people try to not have a weighted balance in their lives, and take it off of even alcohol and drugs. Just particularly in any activity, it's like they think that they have to be so structured that it has to be 25% this, 25% this. Why can't you take each day as it comes in the trajectory of where you think you want to be? So I just came off of 10 days in Italy, and I weighted my balance towards my family, experiences. Did I still show up to the IG lives? Yes. But I wasn't doing speeches or meetups, or I did my coaching calls, but it was a weighted balance, polar opposite of what I'm doing today, which is now weighted back towards messing around with Craig Siegel and the Superstar. So thanks for letting me join you guys late.
Well, man, like I love that, because it's people like relationships are 50-50. Fuck that. That's not possible. That's not how math. They're never 50-50. For a long time, it was about me and like my career and my wife. It's like 70% me, 30%, my wife. And now we got a 5-year-old. It's like 99% him, and like 0.9% my wife, and I get a little sliver, and it's fine. It's gonna happen. But like at times you've got to understand that percentages and pie charts, whatever analogy we want to use, It's always going to change. It's an ebb and flow. And if to your point, like, yeah, so maybe you go to Italy and you have some fun, you go out with your friends, and like you do a few times a year. It becomes a problem if it's 5, 6, 7 nights a week and you've got to do it every single weekend. Then that's a point you need to reassess your life. But it's okay if it's to that point. It's like the whole cheat meal and cheat day and also that sort of crap. Like if you need to go and you need to munch on a dozen donuts if I'm training the movie star or something, and then you can go back to eating everything I'm saying and doing everything I'm doing for the next 30 days into your shoot, fine. Binge on those donuts and you're going to shit your pants out the next day. It's just going to be fine. It's okay. Mentally, you had it. You let it go. It's when that cheat day turns into cheat days and weeks and months. That's when that becomes a problem.
Joey is on fire tonight, baby.
He's amazing. Well, I think it works opposite for guys like Craig and I, right? Like Craig wants to do like ultra marathons. I'm like, dude, just run 13 miles, right? Like that's enough. Enough is enough. Go ahead, do your hour of running, and you can do 13 miles an hour, right? Right, Craig? Or is it 2 hours?
13 and 131, actually.
Wow. 131. So take your hour and a half. You don't need to go 3 hours and go a whole marathon. So I think it goes not only to bad behavior, you got to have balance, but it also goes to good behavior.
Yeah.
And, we can overdo the good stuff as well. And it just gets ridiculous. You're not enjoying your life. But yes, when Craig has his kids, he'll get it. I can see you're making that transition. I got 4. So I'm on the other side of it. Wait till your kids turn 24, 21, 19. And if they're all girls, good-looking girls, I hate every boyfriend they've ever had, and I'll continue to do so.
I'm glad I have a son because, like, I see my friends that have these beautiful girls. I'm like, oh, my God. Like, yes, they may be easier right now at 4 and 5, but call me when they're 14 and 15 because you're going to have some issues. But, I mean, to your point, like, good things. We can do too much good, like whether it's, overtraining or too much work or anything like that. Like, at some point, you do need to pull the reins back. And I just did this fitness competition where I won Mr. Illinois, and I was doing 4 hours of working out a day, and then I was hitting all these different things, and there were some things where I just had like, oh my God. So for 3 weeks afterwards, I had 7,000 calories a day. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna unwind. I'm gonna let it go. I'm still gonna work out. I'm gonna utilize this time to add some more muscle. But if some fat adds, it's fine. Like I'll go back to it. But I had a date in mind where those behaviors were going to go back. And I see that a lot with, I work with a lot of, executives or movie stars and stuff. And that's what happens. They go at it so hard, so fast, they get burnt out. And then eventually they go to shit.
Yeah. So good. I want to ask 2 final nuggets before we hop off. I know it's the weekend, guys. Dave, I already know your answer to this, but Joey, I saw that you're really big into this too. And I think it's important for the listener tonight. How important is adding consistency for you, and then obviously developing a habit?
Yeah. So when I say, people always go for intensity first, and then they like try to do consistency. But I say go consistency first, and then add intensity. It's like every January, right? Every January, like, oh, I'm going to go to the gym. I played high school football 30 years ago. I'm going to do the same split, the same leg press, the same whatever. I'm going to feel out. I'm going to shit my pants out. I'm going to give myself a hernia. And you can't walk for days. And all of a sudden you're like, man, I can't do this. Like, how about you just go a little bit? Like, have the consistency. Do a full body workout 3 days a week and slowly do that. And then once your body adapts and can change, then you hit your high school workout and you try to set your own PRs. Like, consistency is huge. I go to bed generally 7 nights a week around the same time and wake up around the same time. Every now and then it changes, but my body has consistently become adapted to that. And I've got these habits in place, and then I add that intensity where I can.
And what time is that when you pass out and wake up, Joey?
Yeah, so I'm going to bed, before my 5-year-old often. I'm going to bed around 8:30 or 9. I'm up around 4 or 4:30. And I drive to the West Loop in Chicago. I'm a director at one of my many jobs. I'm a director at a gym called Mode, this kind of bougie gym. It's kind of sweet. And then I maybe have a client or two, babysit some trainers. Like, let's say, hey, trainers, if you're on here right now, I'm sorry, I got to babysit you. It's what happens. And then like go do some TV stuff, do whatever. My schedule is always different. And then I get home and I put my phone down. That's that consistency for family. I put my phone down. I'll check it once or twice, maybe, for 3 or 4 hours. But I tell my son, like, hey, we're having bro time right now. You and I, it's an hour of just straight, just Frederick and Dad bro time. And check the phone later, try to go to bed 8:30 or 9 o'clock and rinse and repeat. And that's my days.
Hey, same frequency or what?
Yeah, pretty much.
Absolutely. Like I got to be consistent and persistent in order to do so. Just lower the bar. I love the philosophy of you're better off going consistent first, then worrying about the quality, etc. It's against human nature to be consistent, and it's because the simple things to do are unfortunately simple not to do, and it takes an habitual, consistent, proactive activity in order to facilitate making it into a habit. So I completely agree. Joey is so on it. And just I'm loving this. I'm just sorry I was late, man. This is too good to miss.
No, don't be sorry.
Hey, we can
love you.
do another one, man. I'll get in some other car. I'll jump over. Like some other time. It's fine. It's cool.
All right, that's a repeat.
Joey, you have time for one final deep nugget?
Absolutely. Let's nugget away. I mean, whether it's fried or baked nuggets, I'm good with nuggets.
I saw one of your posts was really vulnerable, and it really touched me, and I loved it. And you were talking about how even when things are really good, sometimes you still get sad, lonely, even maybe feel depressed at times. And for people to see that even happens to you, someone that looks like it has it all together, and for the most part you do, but you're still human. How do you snap out of that frequency when you go there?
Yeah. I mean, one of the hardest things I ever did professionally was I went on Tamron Hall and talked about my depression. I was diagnosed with clinical depression at 14 years old. I wanted to kill myself. And, it was one of those things where back then at 14, what was it, in the early 90s, it wasn't like, going to mental health or a counselor wasn't cool, like it should be cool, right? Like you should take care of your mental health. But it was like, oh my God, you're crazy. You're going to this therapist. But my mom was aware enough to like bring me to that. So I went on national TV and I talked about that. People were like, wait a minute, you're going on TV, you're doing all these things, you're like got these different deals and stuff. Like, yeah, but sometimes the people with the most light shined on them have the most darkness. So when you listen to a song, how is that? That's so deep. How do they know what I feel right now? Because they've been there, because they are there. So that's kind of one of the things where I started talking about it more. And then when I feel that way, like going on the paradigm shift, I'm doing this, I'm seeing my nephew, I'm doing whatever, right? I do that, and then you should be so happy. But if I just feel terrible, I wake up and I tell my wife, like, look, today is just one of those days. I don't know why. I can't explain it, because then that's the depression. Like, you just don't know. It just hits you. So I say my depression's in a remission, and sometimes it pops up, right? So I let her know. So one, that's me being vulnerable with her. Then she can be more aware and more conscious of my feelings that day, but that also makes her feel more connected to me because I'm opening up to her. So it goes back and forth. So that helps going back with my consistency, getting out in the sun, getting the workout in, playing with my kid, hugging the crap out of him if I can. Like, he still hugs me now, which is great. And doing all those things, those help. Sometimes it fixes it, but I'm also aware that it might not fix it completely that day. And then I just make it through the day. Sometimes you just have to allow the day to suck and just be aware that sometimes things will just suck. And hopefully you wake up the next day and it's a little bit better. And often it is.
Dave, you want to land the plane?
Yeah, no, I'm blessed because I'm born with the exact opposite gene. I'm born with the optimist gene, the happy gene, but yet, I spend minutes and moments in depression, and I practice utilizing time as a dependent variable of how much time. But I think the bigger lesson for everyone is, especially in your closest relationships, the best thing you can do is illuminate your fear, right? Illuminate the truth. And so, like, one of the things I've learned in the second half of my marriage, I've been married, it'll be 26 years. The second half of my marriage was just tell the fucking truth. Excuse my language. Like, this, hey, this is how I feel. I'm afraid. I'm an idiot. I made this mistake. Whatever it may be, that's the best thing you can do in any relationship, but especially in marriage. And believe it or not, even as your kids get older, they totally will bond with you when you tell them, hey, I get depressed, or because your kids, the more successful you are, the kids will think you're way more perfect than you are, and you never had to struggle when you were a teenager, or never, got drunk, or never did something. And I'm completely honest, and I think that's the biggest lesson and takeaway. I love how you illuminate how vulnerable you are, Joey. We're gonna do this again. I love you both. I'm just getting to the plane, so thank you both.
Guys, cheers.
Dave, thank you for joining us. Joey, thank you. I can't wait to connect further. And you both guys have a great weekend.
All right, take care.
You guys both.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Have a great time.
Bye, guys. Fantastic episode. Honestly, unbelievable. Joey's energy, forget about it. Love his sense of humor, too. And thank you, Whiskey, for joining us. I'm sure you guys heard in the background. That was fantastic. So many nuggets. How can we do the minimum to get the maximum? And then also like checking beneath the hood so we can get better, reassess. And if you need to cheat, like if you need a cheat meal or a cheat cocktail, whatever it is, as long as the next day you're back at it and it doesn't turn into days and weeks and so forth. Just very real, raw, and honest and vulnerable, and I loved it. For our audience, if you weren't familiar with Joey before this, do yourself a favor and me and go follow him. Check out his awesome content. Dave, thank you always for joining us 121 weeks in a row, especially on the road. We're giving away just for this live right now a free personal branding manual. How do you get it? Totally free. Just text the number 917-634-3796, request a manual, and it's yours. Happy Saturday, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. If you haven't grabbed the book yet, the Reinvent Your Formula pre-order is available now. Join the launch team. Make sure you input your confirmation number at reinventyourformula.com. Reading the book before it ever drops. Thank you again, Joey and Big Dave. And let's have a great rest of the weekend, guys. Cheers.